Jesus, you're excited. I mean, I
I
would
am.
be too.
And I'm
Ladies and
all
gentlemen,
caffeinated up. Woo! Eagles.
today
Chiefs. Woo!
is
Woo!
today is the
Ah!
day the Eagles get their rematch against the Chiefs, their Super Bowl rematch.
Yes,
And they're
sir.
doing it on primetime Monday Night Football. And we're going to do our first ever pre-game show.
Yeah, thank y'all for coming out and checking this out. We do appreciate that. We are going to get into the meat and potatoes. We getting into the good shit. This game matters.
Absolutely. It does matter. Not just because it matters for the pride, it actually matters because the Eagles can stay on top if we win.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be no competition on top if we win this game. We continue to stay up top. So I think this is a very important game. It solidifies us as, the paper champions for the rest of the year. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Yes, sir.
Boulevard, how do you want to start this out?
All right. Well, let's get into the history of it. I mean, let's, like I said, we're going to get down and dirty. We all know. We know what happened last year. Eagles were winning going into the half, and somehow they could not stop the machine of the Chiefs in the second half. I believe, one interception for Mahomes in that Super Bowl? Mm-hmm. I mean, one incompletion in the second half? Something along those lines. Something brutal like that. Either way, the Chiefs came back and beat us in the fourth quarter when we couldn't stop anybody. Then what's-his-face got that penalty that basically gave him the game. You remember. You saw it. It was a disaster in the second half.
It was. The defense just did not adjust. It's not a lack of
adjust.
It wasn't a lack of effort because the penalty shows that there was effort. What we do, so what the problem was, it was a lack of adjustment, not a lack of effort on the side of the defense. It's a lack of adjustment to the type of offense that they was running, the changes that they made. We couldn't say it was a result of cockiness and unpreparedness by the person that was that defensive coordinator. How are we going to say this? He who shall not be named.
Yeah. He's a bad person. He's a liar. He was unprofessional, and he failed the team. And we're all like the whole Commonwealth or whatever, Keystone. We're all glad he's gone. May that man who may not be named rot in hell. And by hell, I mean Arizona. Since we broke that down a little, get into the coaches. I mean, I didn't go look up career records or anything, but we know Andy Reid is one of the greatest of all time as far as coaches. He may be up there on the mountain, on the Rushmore. He may be. He's got a few rings. He's got experience. Say what now?
I think he is on that Mount Rushmore.
Probably. He's definitely one of the greatest coaches in my lifetime.
I mean, this is a coach that, and the reason why I'm gonna say this is a coach that won with Donovan McNabb. Not saying that Donovan McNabb was a bad quarterback, but he won with Donovan McNabb.
He did, and Donovan McNabb was an inconsistent alcoholic. So that was an accomplishment.
And then not to mention that, but Andy Reid never really had an elite team. He never really had an elite receiving corps in Philadelphia. But Philadelphia that organization was on top. Like they were basically the team to beat in the NFC East for a long time under Andy Reid.
Long time. Good 8 years, I'd say.
So, and just to have him come back, he beat his team, his former team, the team that he basically, for the longest time, when you talk about coaching identities, he's one of the guys who solidified as, when you think of coaches that coach the Philadelphia Eagles, you're going to think of Andy Reid. He's going to be somebody that's always going to come to mind.
I believe he's undefeated against us, too.
Yeah.
Philly's never beaten Kansas City. At least Hurts has never beaten Kansas City. I know that much. Kansas City or Seattle.
Yeah.
The two teams he's never beaten. But that's going to change today.
Yeah. And then we talk about the beloved Nick Sirianni, a guy. We literally say this guy grew on us because I remember Nick Sirianni. He did press conference, and I'm like, this guy is a dipshit.
Right.
I'm not.
You're like, who is this guy? Where did he come from?
Yeah,
Just
when they said his
nowhere,
name, I was like, what? And then this guy literally grew on us. He
I
grew
didn't have
as
much
a
hope for him
he
at
grew as
all.
a speaker in the when it came to the media. He grew
Mm-hmm.
as a team guy. He was just all around somebody to just fall in love with as a head coach. He presents
Mm-hmm.
himself as the guy that you want to play for. People want to play for him.
Mm-hmm.
And if you dig deep enough, he spent some time under Andy Reid. So it's really good to see this play out because I believe there's like a little story on every level of the game.
There is. There's a lot of stories in this game. You got the Kelsey brothers.
Mm.
You got the Super Bowl rematch, honestly. But not only a Super Bowl rematch, a potential Super Bowl preview.
Mm-hmm.
I
Absolutely.
mean, I have questions about that. Like for instance, this game. The way the second half went in the first game in the Super Bowl, do you think they go with the same strategy Chiefs do? The same
I
strategy
feel
they used in the second half?
I think if they're smart, I mean, it's just I don't know. I don't know. I feel like they just gotta adjust. I think what they gotta do is start paying attention to what's going on in front of them as far as defensively. Um, they
Mm-hmm.
can't let them get those passes. Like it was Kadarius Toney scored on that run route. It was like a little short wheel route or swing route.
Mm-hmm.
And then they went and did the same thing on the other side and got completely torched. And I feel like
Right.
they have to do better to adjust. They got to make that adjustment and be smart enough. Uh, it, there's no excuse for how that happened. I feel like as long as they make the adjustments. I mean, I can't tell what's going to happen until we see it, but
Right.
I think what they do is just get the pressure on Mahomes because
Right.
that's one of the things that I realized in that Super Bowl. They didn't sack Mahomes not once in that Super Bowl.
No. I realize you misinterpreted what I said.
I might
I
have.
meant do the Chiefs offensively run the same strategy they ran in the second half of the Super Bowl when the Eagles could not contain the passing game or get any pressure on them.
I don't think so. I don't think so because of the addition of Jalen Carter. So last
Okay.
year they had Hargrave and Cox. I think you have when you have that threat of such a like Hassan Reddick has evolved from last season, so he's going to be
Yeah,
even better this
he
year.
is better.
Jalen
Started
Carter,
off slow, but he's much better.
yeah, Jalen Carter that pressure that we didn't see in that Super Bowl game. We're probably
Right.
going to see it in this game.
Yes.
There's no way that Pat Mahomes is going to be comfortable. He's going to see the pressure. The pressure is going to be in his face. So
Right.
I don't think they can run.
That's what we have to do. We have to use that D line and get in that man's space. Need to get but we can't let him leave the pocket because he's just as dangerous outside the pocket. So we can't let that happen. So the key is to contain him, get in his face, get hands on him, knock him down a little bit, make him think.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing you
Absolutely.
got to worry about Eagles defense is them dumbass passes Mahomes be pulling out his ass. Like them shovel passes out of nowhere that ain't really out of nowhere. They're game planned in. You got to be prepared for stuff like that. You got to be on your ball at all times with Mahomes because he can just pull out bullshit and get a points. You got to do something with
Yeah.
Kelsey, obviously. You got to keep Kelsey from getting receptions, because let the rest of the receivers beat you. Don't let Kelsey do what Kelsey's been doing to everybody. Let those other
Yeah.
receivers beat you. Because as bad as the secondary has been, it is improving. But they've had 14, 15 different combinations that's in secondary because of various reasons. Mostly that they performed terribly. I mean, that's the scariest part right there. But I believe if they focus on the priority, which will be Kelsey, and containing Mahomes, then he's going to have to beat you with the lesser players, the Rashee Rices of the world. And I believe if it comes down to that, we got the upper hand.
Oh, for sure. Because I don't see person to person that any of these receivers can really outmatch up the Eagles' defensive back, secondary. Maybe in the slot they might have a better matchup in the slot, but overall, I'm not that confident that their receivers can literally beat Eagles DBs. I think Kelsey's going to be their biggest weapon. Maybe Pacheco out of the backfield, because one of the things that Pacheco was a dominant runner in the Super Bowl. I don't see that being the problem here in this game. Ooh, what's that? Hold on 1 second.
Okay, well, I don't know where to go with that, but you were saying Mahomes. I don't even remember what you said. Anyway, since you're disappearing, I'm going to move on to the D-line and whatnot, and the defensive advantages. So, like, how do you contain Chris Jones? Well, personally, I say, obviously, you got to double team him. You got to run the ball away from him. You got to keep him out of the play as much as possible and rely on the rest of him. I mean, with our tackles, Carl Aftis is not going to be much of a factor in this game because he's going to be shut down. He's not going to get anything going. So it's mostly going to be up to the line to contain Chris Jones, and as well as the Chiefs defense has been playing, I believe they're about 4th in fantasy right now. As well as they've been playing, they're playing a team that's superior to their team, talent-wise. And the better team usually wins in football. So it should be as simple as that. I mean, we break down the individual matchups. You see, the key is, as I've said, is to get pressure on Mahomes. The run game shouldn't be a factor because our D-line is too strong. And offensively, our run game is better than what they faced and what they're used to. So there'd be an easy matchup. And where the hell is GQ? Oh, there you are. Welcome back.
Yeah. I had a little disturbances. The bench baby came and wanted to raise hell.
That's what kids do.
Yeah. But I want to. I mean, basically, all I was saying was that is the defensively Eagles will be facing Isaac Pacheco out of the backfield. I mean, him running the ball, he's not going to be at the threat that he was last year. Eagles are doing a lot better against the run this year.
Yeah. Oh, Eagles' run game really hasn't been as good as it started out as.
Yeah, but that's just a lack of use.
Yeah, which is bad play calling because we were at our best when the run game was moving the ball. Sure, we've been winning, getting it to our amazing receiving core, but we're at our best when the run game is the driving force.
Yes, 100%.
We got to get back to that. Hopefully, whoever replaced Jurgens can step up this game because that's what happened. Once Jurgens went down, the run game went to crap.
Yeah, it'll likely be Tyler Steen again.
We need Steen to step the hell up.
Yeah, but I agree. And I think one of the matchups that's going to be very key in this situation, as you say, Chris Jones is going to be a problem. Well, not necessarily a problem, but he's likely to be matched up against Dickerson or Kelsey. And personally, I believe that Dickerson and Kelsey can hold their own. I'm worried about that right guard position. It's definitely a liability, even as dominant as this O-line is. As you said, once Cam Jurgens went out, you saw a lot. And that's one thing the Eagles have had a problem with is picking up on those blitzes. Now, if you're going to keep a running back in the backfield, and it's one thing I have seen from them, is that the running backs tend to not help out on blitzes. They don't give a little shoulder when they have to go out on these little swing routes or take routes, and they got to help out, give a little elbow to somebody while they're being blocked, help out,
just shove, get their attention long enough to distract them.
Yeah, and I think that's what we got to. And that's I think there's somebody that you don't hear getting talked about a lot on this Eagles coaching staff is that running backs coach Singleton. I feel like that's something that he's not really And like he's like, it's like they're not doing that bad to where you would look at this coach and be like, you're a problem. Like you're not doing your part as a running backs coach because it's not a running offense, so he's
Right.
not seeing the problem. But I think there is something that as a running backs coach, something as small as that should be taught because I've always been taught like if you're in a position to make a bit of a block, you do it. If you're coming out of the backfield, smack that end or that edge rusher just to throw him off a little bit. Um, so I think it's just little things that the Eagles can do because I'm not confident that the D line is going to be that much better than the Eagles offensive line. I don't see any defense that is that much better. It's just that right guard position. It's those blocks. They don't pick up those blocks very well because the offensive line, I'll say this, the offensive line does a very good job blocking those front four. They do a really good job protecting the quarterback from the front four. It's just when those extra blockers come in, and somebody's always missing a block. I think they have to start designing some plays that'll get the ball out quicker and not have Jalen Hurts sitting in there. Because once Jalen Hurts is sitting in that pocket longer than 3 seconds, he's going to start moving around, start chopping his feet, trying to find something else to do, and that's where the problems start. We see Jalen Hurts getting sacked. I think we stopped that. We're because I just don't see that the front four of Kansas City and their hybrid D. I don't see that their base rushers are going to be the problem. I think it's going to be mistakes, and I feel like that's where the Eagles lose.
Line is superior to the Chiefs D line.
Yeah, and that's where I see that the Eagles' biggest problem isn't them. It's Eagles beat themselves quite often. It's like they're beating themselves. Teams are not beating them. Like the Jets. The Jets did not beat the Eagles. The Eagles beat themselves.
Obviously.
And I feel like that's something that we have to understand. We have to, as the Eagles need to look at. Stop making those bad plays. Stop making bad play calls, bad decisions. Like when Quez Watkins was there, when he had 2 blocks. And instead of actually going through those blocks, he wanted to go around them.
Yeah.
And you see, and that's where the emotion and the anger comes in, and it throws everything off because Quez Watkins is gone. He's injured. And I honestly don't see him coming back to Philadelphia next year. So
why would he?
Yeah. So I see that the matchup has to be Eagles. The running game, it's got to be that difference maker because he didn't have it last year. Miles Sanders, regardless of the fact that Miles Sanders put up 1,000 yards last season, his first 1,000-yard season as a running back
in 17 games.
Yeah. So. I'm not confident in his ability. I wasn't confident. I feel like you got a better runner, so y'all got to use him. If you're not using DeAndre Swift, if you're not using Penny, then you're wasting their time. You're wasting a year of their career, especially Rashad Penny. I'm very upset the way they use Rashad Penny or the lack of use of Rashad Penny and then the overuse of Kenny Gainwell. Like, especially in positions like there are situations where Rashad Penny is meant for like those 3rd and 1s. Why is it that we're using a 185-pound running back to pick up a 3rd and 1? You got a 225-pound runner in Rashad Penny. Use him. Use him.
You're right.
So,
well, I don't have much to follow on that. That was well said. I just wanted to point out that Kansas City's a 2.5-point favorite, and the over/under is 45.5. With that being said, Philly averages 28 points a game. Kansas City averages 23. So I would probably take the under because Kansas City's not like these. They're going to be lower than you think with the scoring. High scoring, like big good offenses usually turn to low scoring games. Some reason, some ironic ass reason. It's not going to be a 45-44 game. It's going to be like a 21-17 game. Sadly, we're all going to go home disappointed. Take the under.
I agree with that, and I think it's because Kansas City is going to be looking. Kansas City is going to be playing to not make a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
They're like because and that's where the Eagles get those big turnovers, and that's what a lot of offenses aren't doing. That's why Eagles haven't intercepted the passes as much as they have this year, is because teams are not taking the risk against Philadelphia.
Right.
They're not just throwing those passes. That's why Eagles, like one thing you see is that Eagles are not getting beat on deep balls that often, as much as they were in the past. They're not taking the chances with them this year.
Well, certain people left, so that hasn't been a problem.
Yeah. They're not taking that. They're not taking the issue. And I think, believe it or not, Reed Blankenship is actually somebody that's actually playing those deep
looking
balls
like a starter now.
Yeah, he's looking like he's playing it well. I think one thing he still has to clean up is on those rap tackles. He's got to start rapping.
Yeah.
I think once he starts rapping, those hits are going to be a lot more furious. And then I like Kevin Byard. I think Kevin Byard may be the decision, may be that guy, because I didn't think CJ Gardner-Johnson could play Kelsey well. I think Byard may have a body. I think Byard may have the size.
The Kelsey stopper.
The guard.
Yeah, he's the Kelsey stopper. One thing, Mahomes has only been. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, just one thing about Kelsey. He hasn't performed that well when Taylor isn't in the building. Taylor isn't in the building this week. So
of course not. They would call her ass out on her fake ass fandom. Like how you out there in a Chiefs jersey? You can't be doing that. You disrespectful as hell.
Yeah, I got it. I know it's not football.
Out the state.
I know it's not football, but she has the hell of a PR team because they knew that her being a Philly fan,
you caught that too.
They knew that her being a Philly fan, and she rescheduled that. They said, "Hey Taylor, listen, Eagles play on Monday. They play Chiefs. You do not want this PR storm because guess what? You want to put the Swifties against Eagles fans. That's a fight."
No, that was her idea. Like, I know the motherfucker's crazy. I'm not going. I'm not going to that game. Heck, Travie. Did she call him Travie? Yeah. His name Travie.
It was probably her dad. It was definitely Taylor Swift's dad. Like, don't go to the game.
He's secretly going to be at the game. But he's going to be in disguise. With a fake mustache and shit and them fucking glasses. But then, whatever.
So, right. You got anything you want to say? You say something.
Oh, no, nothing important. I mean, I was ready to get into the predictions and shit.
Okay, let's get into it because I got a prediction too.
Yeah. Okay, here's my first thing. It's not really over-under. I didn't get there yet. Does if the Eagles win, and Jalen has a good game, is he the best QB in the league? Is he better than Mahomes?
No.
Does it make him the MVP?
Yes.
Okay.
Because believe it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think this is beating the Chiefs because this is a battle of the ones.
Mm-hmm.
This is a battle of the ones. So you beat this game, Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. They have they have the right to sit there on the top of the mountain and say we're number one.
Mm-hmm. And they got a rough stretch coming up, but if they can come out of it with a win here, that's going to be a major step forward for us.
Exactly. And so I think this does put him as MVP. Absolutely, 100%. He should have won the MVP last year. This is Josh Allen, like you guys. He was you guys MVP. Does he looking like the MVP this year? No, he is not. The most valuable player on a team, this right here, Jalen Hurts, is your guy.
Absolutely.
What were you going to go ahead and say? All right,
so with that said, again, let's get into the over-unders. Over-under 400 for Mahomes.
Way under.
Over-under 250. Okay. Over-under 250 for Hurts.
Over.
Over-under 90 for Swift.
Under.
Over-under 90 for Pacheco.
Under. Under.
Over-under 100 for Hurts.
Rushing?
No. I meant to say Brown.
AJ Brown goes over. He goes over.
Okay. Does any Chiefs receiver top 80 yards?
No.
Does AJ Smith top 80 yards?
AJ Smith. You mean AJ Brown or Devontae Smith?
Devontae Smith. Wow.
I think Devontae. I'm gonna go under.
Same with Goddard.
If Goddard plays,
is Goddard playing? Yeah.
No, I think he's out.
Yeah, that's just sorry, was doubtful. Okay. Over under. Mahomes has only been sacked 12 times. Over under 4 sacks for the Eagles.
You know, I'm gonna go ahead and say 4 is a good number. I can't see. I feel like if it goes, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say it's. I'm gonna go. I don't go over or under. I'm gonna stick with that 4. That's probably a solid number.
Okay. I mean, the Eagles are a little ahead of the pace they were on last year, but they didn't sack the Chiefs at all in that Super Bowl.
Yeah, so. I think they will get some sacks, and I do think that what's going to happen is if they're going to be sacks, they go over 4 sacks. It's going to come in the fourth quarter.
Yes, it will. This game will come down to the fourth quarter.
Yeah, where the Chiefs are trying to play catch up.
Who scores first?
Philadelphia scores first. Philadelphia takes the ball first.
Okay. Halftime lead. I'm just throwing questions out there now. Who's leading at halftime? Okay.
Philadelphia.
I guess I'm out of questions. How many Taylor Swift references? Over under 15 by the announcers.
I think because she's not going to be in the game, not going to be present, you're going to get less. I'm going to say you're going to get less than 5. You may hear her name 3 times, and it's because they're mentioning that she's not there and Kelsey's not performing because she's not there. I don't think she's going to get the recognition.
He's not getting that bony ass, so he's distracted.
Go Birds.
It's like bone on bone. It's like having sex with the turkey people are going to be eating in 3 days or so.
Oh, yes. So
do not have sex with your turkey, America. You will get like staph infections or something, E. coli, mad cow, I don't know. But you don't want mad cow in your day. So do not have sex with your turkey and don't even think about it.
And if you do happen to have sex with your turkey, do not serve it.
No, don't let people eat it. Just tape it and put it on Facebook so we can all laugh at you.
Jeez.
Yeah. All right. What else? Do I have anything else on this subject? Is this a Super Bowl prequel?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Eagles and Chiefs back in the Super Bowl. Okay. I'm just not confident in any other teams. I feel like, I'm not confident. I'm not like the 49ers do not have my attention.
No.
Like, some people,
I got 49ers just the third best team in the conference right now. And I'd say Philly, Detroit, San Fran, and then turn around Kansas City, Baltimore, Miami.
Exactly, I agree.
So, yeah, that's what the season's showing us anyway. Who knows what the future holds? Ready to close this one out?
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
You see what I got on. You see what Boulevard's got on. We got 2 words.
Yeah.
Go Birds. And not only do we got 2 words, we got 3 more for you. And it's Fly Eagles Fly. Those are the 3 words, 5 words for me. Boulevard has
Fly Eagles Fly. Eagles Fly.
Boulevard has another 3 words for you. Yes, you do. And yes, you do. Because we can't all be starters. So Boulevard hit them with those 3 words.
Hit the bench, y'all. Peace.